Wow. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. 9:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the latest we've ever started. Never gone more than like 9:03, usually 9 o'clock right on the dot. Went to hit the, get ready at 8:59 a.m., ready to go live. And the camera, I don't know what happened to the camera, but the main camera keeps saying it's not plugged in, it's plugged in. And then when I try to switch over to the secondary laptop camera that I'm looking at right now, uh, said it wasn't finding it, and then I had to restart the entire computer. And then so I messed around with 9:05, restarted it. Here we are at 9:10 a.m., the latest we've ever started on a manic Monday or ever, right? In basically 1 year, right? We started the live streams in September of 2023, and here we are. So, yeah, I mean, we're dedicated though. We didn't give up. We're still here, but we're starting really, really, really late. Woo! Typing in "Good morning, market snipers" at 9:09 a.m. Camera issues, but good to go. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Ay, ay, ay. Lawrence, welcome back. Hello, 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 hello. Yo. Yep. 9:05. Jesse. Yep. Yep. 9:05. uh Zoom. Yeah, it was saying that it was picking up Zoom, that I had to restart the computer. I'm like, I haven't had Zoom in a while, so I don't know what was going on. Mm. Good morning, Martina. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, if you're new to the channel, awesome. This isn't typical, right? If you're new to the channel, this isn't typical. Usually we start right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot. Usually we're getting ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna try to find my legs here. But yeah, just had to battle it for like 10 minutes. So we'll get this thing going. But if you're returning to the channel, awesome. Welcome back. And you know that this isn't normal, but so we'll get this going though. Don't worry. Don't worry. This is the Bitcoin daily chart that we're looking at. First half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, the altcoins. We will cover the indices like the NASDAQ, SP 500. We're going to cover, we'll get this flowing though. Don't worry. Plus, it's a Monday, right? It's a Monday. But yeah, the whole trying to troubleshoot the camera issue at in the 13th hour, not even the 12th hour, the 13th hour or 11th hour. And then we'll cover any stocks or other crypto assets kind of jump out at us on the watch list. And then the second half of the live stream, make sure to put in the ticker symbol that for chart requests. So I'll chart your requests. Today, we're probably going to keep this to about 45 minutes. I would say 30 to 45 minutes, but we're already 13 minutes in. We haven't even looked at the Bitcoin chart yet. But I got things to do, places to go, people to see. So we're going to try to keep this one to 45 minutes today, and then probably Taco Tuesday tomorrow, probably be a longer one for, just kind of make up for it, all that stuff. So plus there's a lot to cover, right? But today we're going to try to keep it about 45 minutes, but put in the ticker symbol. Let me know what type of asset it is, if it's crypto or stock, because sometimes the ticker symbol overlaps, and that way I can search for it quickly and keep the live streaming. So, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get going. Forget the camera issues. Who cares? Let's go. Let's go. Bitcoin daily chart. Right? Here's the Bitcoin daily chart. So first thing that we're going to cover on the Bitcoin daily chart is that obviously there's a buy signal and a sell signal, but even though it was above the trending dots, and then another buy signal, and it's kind of consolidating right now, letting the trending dots catch up. But the main question, I'm going to keep looking at that camera. The main question is that we've been asking, and that we don't know the answer to. So we'll find out in the near future. Will Bitcoin continue to put in lower highs? And I'll show you the chart. I've already got it mapped out, and lower lows, right? So it's been putting in lower highs and lower lows since the new all-time high of March, right? So you got March over here putting in new all-time highs on March 13th, and since then we've been putting in lower highs and lower lows. So that's the question. So we're somewhere in between because it's been putting in lower highs and lower lows. So there are a couple positives. I put it on the Twitter X app. There are some positives and there are some cautions or negatives, right, on the higher time frame. So before we get going, let's go over here and warm up the trigger finger and help me, help you, help me. And what we'll do is come over here, smash that like button. It takes like 5 seconds of your time. Throw in a repost button. Lawrence is really good at it. Lawrence is the best. He does it on both apps, the YouTube app and the Twitter X app. And then throwing a quick comment like Lawrence, he always does. And I appreciate that, Lawrence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, that was so good yesterday. That was so good. Sushi grade at home. Went to one of my favorite lunch spots and they also sell it. So they'll prepare it for you. We usually just buy the prepared, but then I end up buying not only the prepared, but just give me the raw version too, and we'll just make some more at home. And the wife prefers the salmon. I prefer the ahi. The ahi is a lot more expensive than the salmon sushi grade, but they're both good. Anyways, not to get off track. Yeah. So help me, help you, help me. Only 2 likes so far, and we'll try to get this live streaming. So with that, let's see. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. The weekly Bitcoin candle closes tomorrow. It was like 3 in the morning. Someone had to correct me. RBCO or whatever. Yeah, RBCO 356. It's like everyone feels the need to correct me no matter what. It's like it was 3 in the morning. I was on the baby shift at night. And to me, I was in denial, still thinking that it wasn't Sunday yet because it's 3 in the morning. And after the baby goes back to sleep, the plan was for me to go back to sleep. So it wasn't really, at 3 in the morning, I'm not really considering that Sunday yet. Technically, it was, right? Since 12:01 a.m., right? But people just love to jump in the comments and correct me on it. They love it. They love it, right? So so is not today Sunday, 3:45 a.m. here, taking a night shift. I know people just want to correct you so quickly, right? That you're so wrong, right? Weekly Bitcoin candle closes tomorrow, and it still has a pending buy signal on the weekly candle close, right? It closed with a weekly buy signal, by the way. Cautions are still the 2-week chart had an RSI sell signal. The 3-week chart had an RSI sell signal. Positives are the monthly has no RSI sell signal, and the month isn't over. The month isn't over, but positives in 2021 there was RSI sell signals on the 2 and 3-week charts, and price still had an epic bounce July to November 2021. So it doesn't mean price couldn't have an epic bounce similar to 2021 after the 2-week and the 3-week RSI sell signals, but we don't know if it's going to play out like that or not. So we'll cover it. We're going to cover it. So before we do that, though, we're going to look at the daily chart and just kind of show the lower highs and lower lows, right? So the new all-time high over here, March 13th, puts in a low, puts in a lower high, puts in another lower low over here. Actually, you could have made one over here too, right? So let's see. Yeah, could put another one there because that's lower than over here, right? And then another one. And then you got another lower high over here, almost a double top, but you got a low. It's actually over here. I just kind of extended it because this one's also lower over here. So I just kind of did both of those like that. And then you got another lower low over here, followed by another lower high over here. So be interesting to see what happens. This is a lower low. And then is this going to be this? So yeah, we could have just oops. Hold on. And delete. Okay. calling this. Will this be another lower high? Let's change the color on it. Red. Or well, is this a higher low? Right. So that's what I'm saying. We're somewhere in between. Or is that going to be a higher low? So that's what we don't know. We're not sure. I don't know if you can see that on your mobile app phones. I'll try to zoom in here a little bit. So you've got, let's change color. I know, not green. Whatever. So you got the lower highs, lower lows. You can kind of see it. Is this going to be a higher low? Or is this going to be another lower high, right? So that's something we don't know for sure. And we'll continue to watch it, monitor it over here, and see what happens, right? So if you did take a long position, then at some point you want to make sure that you've I'm looking at the camera again. At some point you're going to want to, make sure, obviously from the very beginning you want your stop loss in, but then at some point you're going to want to try to move the stop loss to break even. You want to let it breathe a little bit, but it's kind of letting the trending dots catch up right now. So if you did take that long position, it's caution, right? It's caution. It's not just like buy, set it, and forget it. And we're going to the moon at $150,000, right? It's a caution. It's like a buy. I mean, it always should be some level of a caution, but with the higher time frames, the way they are, you're gonna want to think, well, so the weekly chart is bullish. That's a higher time frame. The 2-week chart still currently technically bullish in my opinion, but had that RSI sell signal. So those are the cautions. 3-week chart is still currently bullish, but had the RSI sell signal, right? So it's a lot of mixed signals on the higher time frames. So it is a caution. So even though we could see an epic bounce, I could easily see it being sold off too. So just being aware and staying neutral is the most important thing. So if you get too hyped up, you're not going to see the reversal. If you're too bearish, you're never going to pull the trigger on a long position like we did at 16,800. So if you're too bullish, you won't take profits at 2021 all-time highs, right? And then you're going to ride it all the way down if you're too bullish. And if you're too bearish, you're not taking the buy at 16,800 in 2022, heading into 2023, January 4th, 2023. So you don't want to be too bullish or too bearish. You want to stay neutral. So that's that. So that's where we're at. We're somewhere in between, and the reasons why are, right, if you go to the weekly chart, even the weekly chart is putting in lower highs and lower lows, right? And you have this buy signal over here that ended up and pumped all the way back up, putting in a lower high. Is this going to be a lower low? I mean, a higher low over here? Or is this going to be a lower high, right? So another buy signal, but back above the trending dots. So that's why it's somewhere in between, because the weekly chart had a buy signal. Again, there was one back here and then ended up getting sold off. It is back above the trending dots. That's another positive. And did come back down to at least target 2 out of 4 targets to the downside. So those are some positives. The negatives are the MACD still doesn't have a bullish crossover on the weekly chart. There's still no RSI buy signal on the weekly chart, right? Sometimes they're leading, sometimes they're lagging. So we kind of try to look at everything. So even with the buy signal, it's possible it puts in a lower high. There's no RSI buy signal yet. There's no MACD bullish crossover. Not even a hook on it, right? And so that's that. 2-week chart. What else? 2-week chart. So staying cautious, right? 2-week chart had that RSI sell signal, had the MACD bearish crossover. It doesn't happen often, right? You had that RSI sell signal over here, and then there was an epic bounce from July to November. I played that bounce twice, right? At 32,300 and then again at 44,000-ish, all the way up, and took profit at 61,000. So there we are, battling the trending dots over here on the 2-week chart. RSI sell signal. It is trending downward. MACD bearish crossover, right? It is trending downward. So being aware of that, right? So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on it. 3-week chart. Like I said, still currently bullish. No MACD bearish crossover yet. There was an RSI sell signal, though. There was an RSI sell signal. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The last RSI buy signal was March 2023. So you can see it's quite a bit lagging. And then the last RSI sell signal was May 2021. There was still an epic bounce, make new all-time highs, and then came all the way back down the 200-week moving average. So we don't know which way it's going to play out. We just are aware of multiple scenarios and play on the daily chart to the best of our ability, to the upside and or the downside. So that's called swing trading, right? That's called swing trading. But Jesse, you're all over the place. You're bullish on one, you're bearish on the. Yeah, if I would drop down the 1 minute chart, I could tell you it crashed today, right? Go all the way down the 1 minute chart, right? I think it crashed, right? Yeah. Look at that crash on the 1 minute chart going all the way back to 707. Just crashed hard on the 1 minute chart, right? That's a big crash on the 1 minute chart. So there you go. You can find any time frame to be bullish or bearish on to fit whatever narrative you are. I try to stay with the daily chart. Sometimes I drop down the 4-hour chart, but then I look at the higher time frames to let me know what the overall trend is, and just do our best from there, right? Just do our best. So back to the daily chart right there. See if it puts in another higher low and then continues upward from there, right? Another milestone is if you get a candle close back above 68,220-ish, that's a positive sign. But ultimately, we are still not out of the woods yet until we get a candle close back above 73,100. We've been talking about that all the way since April. Since April 2024, we've been saying on the live streams, we are still not out of the woods yet until we start getting candle closes back above 73,100-ish. And since then, we've been putting in lower highs and lower lows on price. So that's where we are at on Bitcoin. Spend a lot of time on it. Let's keep going. Bitcoin, let's see, right? The horizontal divide, right? We're currently above it. We are above it. This is like a weekly horizontal. And then we had a weekly candle close back above it. We had a daily close back above it. So we'll see if it kind of consolidates, comes back tests it. You can kind of see it playing out. You know, if it's going to remain bullish, right, on the daily chart, maybe come back to the trending dots. It takes off to the upside like that, right? So we'll see. And then it takes out this pivot area over here. And then we'll find out if it takes out this pivot point over here, right? So that would be bullish. That would be the bullish case. Come over here, the halving tracker, right? Another positive on the halving tracker. We do look at this from time to time. You can see the black down here is 2024 prices. Let's give a like over here. You can see that it was ahead of schedule according to the cycles, and then it went well below it. And now, is it going to play catch up and start catching up to the previous cycles? And you can see, you know, from 150 days all the way to 350 days, you might see like this first another peak, right? Another possible peak happening, or you could even go all the way to like 375 days. So if anywhere from maybe 275 to 375 days, 325, no, 375, we'll get it figured out. 275 days to 375 days post halving is possible. So we'll see if price catches up or not. Doesn't mean it couldn't come all the way back down further and then start a rally, right? And then start a rally. So we'll see what happens. Just kind of showing that. I do take a look at it from time to time, and that's about it. That is about it. So, Johnny C, good morning. Longtime market sniper. Good to see you back here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. It's currently bullish on the daily chart. It's currently bullish on the weekly chart. It's currently bullish on the 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart. But there are some cautions. The RSI 2-week chart had a sell signal, had a MACD bearish crossover. The 3-week chart had an RSI sell signal, no MACD bearish crossover yet. So those are some cautions. And then, of course, we'll take a look at some of these altcoins over here. Ethereum. Let's get back over here on the cursor. No buy. There was a buy signal, but it's coming back down now. And see if it finds support here, puts in a higher low, and then continues upward. The $3,000 CME gap is still left open on the futures chart. Still not closed yet. So we'll see what happens over there on Ethereum. Currently bearish, though. Solana had that buy signal, currently still bullish, letting the trending dots kind of catch up, let the moving averages catch up. This is just a big move down, and this is a retracement of that. So we'll find out what happens after that. Sand has not hit any targets yet. Breaking news. No, can't say breaking news because there's no targets have been hit as of yet. Will it in the near future? I hope so. That'd be nice. Speaking of near future, we drew this out. The handy dandy TA over here. We'll see if that TA continues to play out over here by accident, right? We just kind of draw it in, how we kind of see how it playing out, chopping around, putting in higher lows, letting the trending dots catch up. We drew that out in advance. And the handy dandy TA, there you go, drawing over there. We'll see how it plays out and if we get a bigger breakout to the upside on near. Still currently bullish. MACD above the 0 line is pending, right? Got it on the sharpshooter candles 3.1. That's near. Let's see. Filecoin coming back down the trending dots. Has not hit any targets to the upside as of yet. Mana, same thing. Has not hit any trending dots to the upside yet. Algorand hit one target to the upside so far. Will it hit additional targets? It's letting the trending dots catch up right now. Cardano has hit one target so far to the upside. So far, DOT was breaking out, is coming back down to the trending dots, back below the downward trend line, has not hit target 1 so far. AVAX has hit one target so far out of 4. We'll see what happens over there. Chainlink has hit one target so far and is currently above it, letting the trend dots kind of catch up over there on Chainlink. FET, breaking news, has hit target 1 so far. Someone asked me to put it on my radar. It's already been on the radar. So that's FET. Was breaking out over here, and then it had that buy signal, and then came up and hit target 1 out of 4 targets so far to the upside. Wearable got rejected, didn't actually pierce target 1, so we're not gonna change that yet. So target 1 was almost hit, has not been hit as of yet. Yeah, if we have time, Duncan, we'll definitely take a look at it. But early bird gets the worm, and unfortunately I've got somewhere to go and people to see, things to do today. So we're gonna see. We're already at 34 minutes, and I probably need to keep this to about 45 minutes, and we're way behind. Not your fault. It's camera issues. We had camera issues today. Rarible, NASDAQ. Another possible negative for Bitcoin is that if the NASDAQ starts rolling over. Chief Diaper Changer reporting live here. we've been talking about this all the way since the bottom over here at 17,500 ish and below. There was starting to be a wick. Keep looking at that camera. Started to be a wick, so there's some profit taking going on down there at the lows, and then it started to get oversold on the candle, as you can see on. Let's see, the 2 candles over here is starting to get oversold on August 7th, and then it started to reverse back around, coming back up like this. And then we talked about, would price put in a lower high, and would it do it on the weekly chart? So maybe it takes some time to play out, right? Maybe it comes down like this, comes up, maybe it goes in like this, and then starts to break back down, right? And it takes maybe a couple of weeks to play out, possibly. So that is a possibility. And didn't mean to do that on purpose, but maybe puts in a small head and shoulders over here and then comes down over here like that. So that's what we're continuing to watch over on NASDAQ, see if that plays out or not. We don't know for certain if it will or not. But we mapped this out in advance. Is an uptrend. You get the arrow on the uptrend. And if it starts breaking back down the trending dots, starts breaking back down from the upward trend line and the key target over here, then we could probably start seeing it breaking down. And in hindsight, it was a lower high. And in hindsight, price goes lower and no one saw it coming, right? So in hindsight, Dow intraday all-time highs earlier today, was it? We'll see. We'll take a look at it. We're going to look at it next, or right after SP 500. So there we go. Will it put in a lower high, or will it continue on higher on the NASDAQ? The weekly chart, still currently bullish, but had that RSI sell signal. So that's why we are somewhere in between. The 2-week chart, still currently bullish, but had bearish divergence followed by the reverse candle, followed by the RSI sell signal. So that's why we were kind of leaning towards, even at this bottom wick over here at 17,500 ish, even we were expecting a bounce, then we're probably looking at a lower high based off of what we're seeing on the higher time frames. So that's the reason why that we're leaning that way. Doesn't mean it couldn't go make new all-time highs. It definitely could, but we're leaning that way because of the higher time frames. SP 500, right? We had similar thoughts on that. Maybe all the way down here, maybe it would take some time to play out. If price puts in a lower high, then continues downward. Dow Jones, maybe on the Dow it did, but on the Dow Jones futures, it has not made a new all-time high. So you're probably right on a wick, but we're looking at candle closes as far as like a possible lower high. But on the wick for the Dow Jones futures, there still has not been a new all-time high made yet, right? So is the Dow showing us, or is the futures, right? So we can look at it though. Might as well look at it since we're on here. Dow Inc. No. Is it? Is it Dow Inc? No, it can't be Dow Inc. Oh yeah. No. It's not the Dow Inc., right? What is the Dow? No, that's chemicals. Oh, Jesse. Oh, it's got to be under like ETFs or something, right? It's got to be under ETFs. Let's see. Stocks, funds. It's got here. Let's just do it again. It's a DGI. There we go. That's why. No, that's the department. I don't know. We're gonna skip it. I'm tired. What is happening? All right. So, but the Dow Jones itself, DGI, right? It's a DGI. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not the DOW. That's why you're throwing me off over there. DGI. Yeah, it's not the DG. That's the Dow Jones. That's why I'm getting confused. Dow Jones Transportation. DGI is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Yep, that's why. All right. So yeah, it did take out that wick over there, like you're talking about. So, but it did not on the futures. So that's interesting. Uh, there still isn't a candle close higher over here. So is the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index leading the way of the futures, or is the futures chart not making a new all-time high? We don't know. We'll see. There's also a gap over here at $40,000. So there's a gap over here. So good reason why we look at multiple charts, because they tell you something different on different charts, right? So you get the DGI, not the DOW. David Fletcher, never do that again. never put in the DOW, because I'm going to look it up as like maybe it's the ETF, but the ETF for Dow Jones is actually the DJI. So put in that, and then I'll know what you're talking about. The gap over here, $40,000. Like you said, it did make a new all intraday high over here on the wick, taking that out over here. And but no daily candle closes yet, so we'll keep an eye on it. But going back over to the Dow Jones futures, it has not yet. It has not yet. So something that's interesting. And the candle closes quite a bit higher at 41,545. So what's right? We don't know. So there we go. We'll put it in a lower high on the daily candle close. We're not sure. Russell 2000, similar thoughts. Don't need to cover it too much. The dollar still oversold, right? Still ultra bearish. Yeah. Oh, now you're telling me, right? After we already found it. We already found it, and that's why it was throwing me off. But yeah, don't put it on the DOW again. You've been warned. I'm kidding, but yeah, just do the DJI. So you don't try to confuse me when we're live streaming. There we go. So oversold conditions on the daily chart for the dollar. Will it retest the 200-week moving average? It's trending that way. The weekly chart is oversold as well. Can remain that way. But the 200-week moving average is at 120.22 cents ish, right? Whether you're using the SMA, the MA, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter to me. It's kind of a bookmark for me. I don't trade based off of it. I don't make investment decisions off of it. I just kind of look at it from like a bookmark, right? If it's below it, at some point it's going to go above it. When it's above it, at some point it's going to come back to it, right? Kind of like the middle ground. It's all good. It's all good, David. I'm just giving you a hard time. What else? I gotta blame somebody, right? I gotta blame somebody. Can't take responsibility for myself, right? I gotta blame somebody. The dollar. Will it find support? We don't know. The VIX is currently up right now. Let's see. The daily chart, still bearish. Could it be putting in a higher low? Possibly. The weekly chart is still currently bullish and above the trending dots. Interesting. The 2-week chart is currently bullish above the trending dots. Interesting. We had this target up at like $73.80 based off this downward wedge from the log. And then, price ended up coming all the way up to $65 in like a matter of days, right? Just crazy move. The 2-week chart is currently bullish, but below the 200-week moving average. The monthly chart is no longer pending a buy signal, but early on in the month when it was spiking up, when prices around that 1950-ish and above the 200-week moving average, something to pay attention to. It started to become a pending buy signal on the monthly chart. It no longer is, right? It no longer is. The month isn't over yet, and doesn't mean the next month or the next month or the next month after that. Maybe that's when you get that pending buy signal again on the monthly chart, and then there's another big move to the upside. Created a gap at $36.62 ish, somewhere right around there on VIX. So keeping an eye on that. Could take a little bit of time to play out. If you look at it, right, how it plays out, before, it already spiked up all the way up there. When it happens fast, right? So keeping an eye on that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's the VIX. Magnificent Seven. Oh, we gotta go faster. We go faster. Come on, Jesse. Let's go faster. Similar to the NASDAQ, will NVIDIA put in a lower high? We don't know for sure. Will NVIDIA put in a lower high? We don't know. It would also probably dictate the NASDAQ as well. If the NVIDIA starts to break back down, it was breaking down beforehand. So it probably helped push the NASDAQ down, right? Meta, is it going to put in a lower high as well, right? Starting to break back down below the trending dots. Amazon filled this gap, right? There's a gap here, somewhere in between. Is that a lower high? Is going to continue to rally up higher? We don't know. Was this a bull trap up here? We talked about that. We covered that. Microsoft, did it just put in another lower high over here? Possibly. Something to be aware of. Had that sell signal on last Thursday of last week, and it's back below the trending dots. Tesla, similar thoughts, but you do have a gap up here. Apple, we talked about it, covered it. We'll put in a lower high. Will it fill that gap at 232? It's a tiny, tiny gap, so maybe not. It's a very, 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 very small gap, in my opinion. Google, bigger gap, is at 183. You got one at 144, and 200-week moving average way down here at 126. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. As of right now, still above the trending dots. All right, let's switch gears. What else? Maybe go through the Bitcoin mining stocks just real fast. We'll arrow down above the trending dots. Currently bullish on Bitfarms as of right now in the daily chart. Marathon Digital, same. CLSK above the trending dots. Iris Energy above the trending dots. We gonna make it. Currently bullish above the trending dots. Cypher Mining. Breaking news: MACD bull cross pending over there in Cypher Mining. Riot currently above the trending dots. Hive. Woo! Come on, Hive. A breakout buy signal. Another buy signal. Back test of the downward trend line. Back above target 2 over here. The targets are still valid. Never made a new lower low on the wick. Those targets are still valid. Those targets are still valid over here on Hive, and it is currently bullish on the daily chart. MIGI still currently bullish on the daily chart. Veritone starting to break back down from the trending dots over there. So we'll see what happens. Was there a gap down there? I don't know, but they hit 2 out of the 4 targets to the upside. Lemonade currently kind of flat, but still bullish over there. Oh, let's fix that. Just trying to move the arrow. You got the gap twice. You got the gap at $22.30. Upstart still could be putting in bearish divergence. Still, so could be a retracement at some point. There, maybe not. It's bullish right now, and you got a gap down here at $24. So just being aware of that. Labu currently bullish as of right now. Where are the other ones? See, I'm looking for PayPal. Currently ultra bullish on the daily chart. Still, someone lit the candles on fire back on last Taco Tuesday, August 20th. And now, after filling that gap on August 20th, that was left open for a very, very, very long time. The gap was created back in August 2023. It took 1 year, almost 13 months for it to fill that gap. It's ultra bullish on the daily chart. There's a new gap down here at $66, something to be aware of. The weekly chart is bullish, right? There's another gap at 107 that was left open all the way back here on April 2022. Yeah, more than 2 years. You got target 1, still valid. That laid it out all the way back over here in October of 2023. And then you got the 200-week moving average at 128, or 128.99. Hasn't been retested since January 2022. Yes, a year and a half. Woo! 170 gap, 226 gap. The weekly chart is bullish. The 2-week chart is bullish. Not seen since buy signal since March 2020. The 3-week chart is bullish. Pending buy signal on the 3-week chart. When does it close? Closes September 9th, so still has some time remaining left on the 3-week chart. But the last 3-week buy signal also was March 2020. And then, of course, the monthly chart is not bullish yet, but could be in the near future. So we'll continue to watch it. But all in all, expect pullbacks along the way. But right now, the daily chart is ultra bullish, and all the other time frames are bullish. So if there is a pullback, it's healthy. But right now, it's overdue for hitting some of those higher targets. It's been overdue for a very, very, very long time. SoFi, similar thoughts to SoFi. We're talking about the breakouts, and the daily chart is bullish, weekly chart is bullish, right? Still. So that's what it kind of looks at like if you zoom out. 2-week chart, there's a buy signal on the last 2-week candle close. We talked about it. 3-week chart, pending buy signal on SoFi. So a lot of similarities to PayPal, right? Pending buy signal on the 3-week chart. Just not as much chart history on SoFi compared to PayPal. So that's why you're not seeing the 200-week moving average. That's why you're not seeing like chart history of it breaking out back here like that. So that's that. I think we're going to call it there since we're already 52 minutes in. Well, 42 minutes in, really. My fault. See, Rivian daily chart. Pending buy signal on Rivian daily chart. Okay. This gap still hasn't been closed yet, though. Caution. Yeah. All right. We'll just kind of look at some of these requests if there are any, right? I know there's at least one. Covered paper on the daily chart. We're going to leave it at that. Iova. That's about it. FET's been on the radar. Yep. Rose, Duncan, you got it. Rose, you got it. We'll cover Rose right now. Let's see. Rose. There you go. Similar to the other altcoins, as it was going through this huge correction, hit multiple targets to the upside, and then just started continuing to break down. Hit 3 of the 4 targets to the upside on that breakout, and then continue to break down further and further and further, right? And so, again, similar to the other altcoins, is the bottom in? Possibly, right? Is it confirmed? No, right? There was a buy signal. Now price is coming back down the trending dots. We'll put in another higher low and then continue onward after that. We don't know for sure, but it's been beaten up. It's been beaten up for a very, very long time. 73% correction over there, but did have another sell signal and is currently bearish, but above the trending dots. So if you had bought this dip and you're still holding, it makes sense. Just that it may take out your stop loss possibly, and you might have to get back in. So you kind of map it out like this, more aggressive downward trend line like that. right? Weekly chart, still bearish, well below the trailing dots. So that's about it, right? Is this a low down here? Is this a higher low? Is this going to be a higher low? Too early to say. It did hit 2 of the 4 longer term targets to the upside so far on Rose. We had mapped that out way back here. And it hit 2 of those 4 targets. So they're currently still valid, right? They're still currently valid in my personal opinion. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, it's for educational purposes only. And hopefully, we have some fun along the way and not be late to our own live stream again. We weren't actually late. It's just we had technical difficulties over there with the camera work and then had to restart the computer. And that's why we started 10 minutes late. So, still my fault, right? There's only, if we're pointing fingers, I point a finger at the camera. I got 4 fingers pointing back at me. That's stupid, Jesse. That's stupid. Why are you saying that? Yep, covered it. No problem. I was just giving you a hard time for fun. There we go. I think that's about it. We're at 9:56. We'll probably put in some more work tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I can't remember if we got something going on tomorrow too. I don't know. Got to keep everything on a calendar now, otherwise I'll forget. Baby. I blame the baby. So I was on the night shift last night. Went pretty good though. She slept at least five to 5.5 hours. So we're thanking the baby for that one. And then after I put her back to sleep, she started sleeping again at 4:30 a.m. So that's that. Thanks for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll continue to sniper the markets together. Help me help you. Help me by smashing the like button, subscribe button, repost button, comment, all that stuff, and we'll continue to sniper it on these live streams. All right. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Adios.